This true story was published online. Some details have been changed to protect privacy. But the question at the center of it remains the same. How well do we really know the people sleeping beside us? For years, two sisters carried opposite wounds. One sister had 5 children, a husband, a busy home, toys under the couch, small shoes by the door, noise in every room. From the outside, her life looked complete. The other sister had been trying to have a baby for 8 years. 8 years of hope. 8 years of tests, appointments, disappointments, and the kind of silence that fills a house when one dream keeps refusing to arrive. And that is where this story begins, not with hatred, but with a cruel imbalance. One woman had the life the other desperately wanted, but the woman who had it kept saying she wished she didn't. It started during the first pregnancy. The older sister would call and say she was scared. Then she would say she did not want to be a mother. After the baby came, the confession grew darker. She regretted going through with it at all. At first, the younger sister listened. She tried to be compassionate. Because what do you say when someone admits motherhood feels like a prison? Do you judge them? Do you comfort them? Do you tell them to get help? Or do you keep quiet because the truth is too heavy to hold? But the confessions did not stop after the first baby. They did not stop after the second, or the third, or the fourth. By the time the 5th child arrived, the younger sister was no longer just listening. She was bleeding quietly every time the phone rang. Because while one woman cried over the children she never wanted, the other was crying over the child she could not have. And that is the first question for you. Can a confession become cruel if you keep giving it to the person it hurts the most? Eventually, the younger sister asked her to stop. She did not shame her. She simply said this was too painful. She could not be the place where all that regret was poured anymore. But her sister kept coming back. Sometimes she said she felt trapped. Sometimes she said her husband wanted the children more than she did. Sometimes she said she was performing motherhood because the alternative would destroy her marriage. And maybe there was truth in that. Maybe there was pressure inside that house no one else could see. Maybe this was not only cruelty, but despair. But pain does not become harmless just because it is real. Years passed. The younger sister and her husband remained open with the family about their fertility struggle. Most relatives were supportive. They knew this was not a small sadness. It was a grief that renewed itself every month. Then one day, the parents shared something hopeful. They had saved money to help their daughter and son-in-law try to have a baby. It was meant to be love. A quiet way of saying, we see what you have been through. We still believe this can happen for you. The younger sister was grateful. But the older sister was in the room. Maybe it was jealousy. Maybe resentment. Maybe she could not stand seeing sympathy go to someone else. But instead of staying quiet, she started joking. She said having a baby was easy. She said maybe her sister and husband just needed to try harder. Then the joke became sharper. She suggested that maybe her sister was not a real woman if she could not get pregnant. Her parents told her to stop. They understood immediately that she had crossed a line. But she went further. She said maybe the reason her sister could not have a baby was because the universe knew she would be a terrible mother. At this point, pause for a second. If someone used your deepest wound against you, in front of your family, what would you do? Would you stay silent to protect their secret, or would something inside you finally break? Because something inside her did break. The younger sister looked at the woman who had spent years confessing that she regretted her own children. The woman who had used her as a container for guilt, resentment, and darkness. The woman who knew exactly how much infertility hurt. And she said the things she had never said out loud. She told her that if anyone should not be talking about motherhood, it was the woman who kept admitting she wished she had chosen a different life. The parents, who moments earlier had been angry at the insult, now heard a secret they were never supposed to hear. A secret about their grandchildren. A secret about their daughter. A secret that could never be placed back inside the dark. And this is where the story becomes complicated. Many people would say the younger sister was justified. She had been attacked. She had been humiliated. She had been forced for years to listen to a confession that cut directly into her own grief. But others would say she crossed a different line. A private confession, no matter how ugly, is still private. And once it involves children, the consequences do not end with the adults in the room. If those children ever hear that their mother regretted having them, that is not just family gossip. That becomes part of who they are. So who is more wrong? The sister who weaponized infertility, or the sister who exposed a devastating truth in anger? Before we go further, if stories like this make you question what people hide behind family photos and smiling holiday dinners, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Listen in the Dark. More confessions are waiting, and some of them are darker than they first appear. After the confrontation, the older sister was furious. She said her trust had been betrayed. She said her sister had no right to throw her private pain back in her face. But the younger sister saw it differently. To her, those confessions had stopped feeling like trust a long time ago. They had become a repeated injury. A reminder that the life she begged for was being described as a burden by someone who kept receiving it again and again. Still, the darkest part of this story may not be the argument. It may be the children in another room, unaware that adults were debating whether they were wanted. Because adults can apologize. Sisters can stop speaking. Parents can take sides. But children absorb what is never said out loud. They notice size, distance, a mother's smile disappearing when no one is watching. They may not know the words, but they feel the temperature of the home. It is not simply that a woman regretted becoming a mother. Regret can be real. Depression can be real. Pressure inside a marriage can be real. Some parents love their children and still mourn the life they lost. Some people need help, not hatred. But when regret turns into resentment, and resentment turns into cruelty, the damage spreads. One grieved the children she did not have. The other grieved the life she might have had without them. But only one of them chose, in a family room, to call the other less of a woman. And only one of them chose, in response, to reveal a secret that could wound 5 innocent children if it ever reached them. So now I want to know what you think. Was the younger sister justified for finally saying the truth out loud? Or did she become cruel the moment she used a private confession as a weapon? And what about the mother? Is regretting motherhood something people should be allowed to admit without being destroyed for it? Or does that confession become unforgivable when the children are already here? Tell me in the comments, who crossed the line first, and who crossed the line worst? And if this story made you think, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Listen in the Dark. Because sometimes the most disturbing stories are not the ones about strangers in the dark. They are the ones about the people sitting across from us at the dinner table.